So I did go and see Us on opening night. It is now Sunday night. I went to see it Friday night when it came out. Honestly, I'm a fan of Jordan Peele. I think he's number one hilarious, but he's also extremely intelligent, extremely well spoken, and an amazing writer. I figured that it would be, you know what, somewhat like deep and meaningful in terms of, you know, you need to focus. Girl, I might need to take some notes, okay? I might need to go and look on Twitter afterwards. What the hell did I just watch? Which I did have to do. Before I saw the movie, I honestly thought it was going to be about the black family in America and just black people in general in America, and how in a lot of cases we can be our own worst enemy. I think that yes, obviously people of color are, you know, systematically at a disadvantage in a number of ways, right? If we look into history and the way things have played out. But I think in other ways, sometimes we, you know, we can have the tendency to get in the way of our own success, right? And so that's what I thought the movie was going to be about. I thought it was going to be about, you know, people of color, black people in America, and how we are, you know, in a sense at war with ourselves on a number of issues. Okay, that's what that was going to be about, because, you know, you got the family fighting against themselves. In the previews, that's what it was giving, right? It was giving like that didn't really work. That didn't really give the visual that I wanted to give, but you get the gist. You get what I was trying to do. When I went to see the actual movie, there's not just black people in the film. There's actually a white family in the film as well that is kind of like part of the storyline. So I was like, okay, this is not just about people of color and their struggles. This is not, you know, kind of like Get Out. It was not just about black people. Now, what I will say before I get into the meat and potatoes, before I slice into this TV dinner I got going on right now, Lupita Nyong'o, honey, Miss Thing can act, okay? Give her an award, give her a check, give her what she needs, give her all the wigs that she wants, give her all the shea butter that she wants, give her all the makeup, brand endorsements. The fact that she maintained such an amazing American accent throughout the whole entire film did not break character. If I were to see that film and I had known nothing about Lupita prior to watching the film, I honestly would think that she's American, because she literally sounds like my next door neighbor, who I hate. After seeing the film, I feel like the film was about the poverty gap in America and how there are a large majority of people who are living below the poverty line, and then there are a ton of people who are, you know, living that rich and that glamorous and lavish life. You know, I recently just took a trip to Los Angeles, and if Los Angeles is not the best example of that, you know, you have people driving around in Teslas living in Beverly Hills, and then 10 minutes up the road, you have people that are literally homeless, right, living in tents. And so that that class gap is so great, and it's just like, you know, people become homeless, or people, you know, live in poverty, you know, for a variety of reasons. Some people are born into poverty, some people become addicted on drugs, some people are, you know, it's a result of them being kicked out of their homes, some people it's a result of their own decisions. But the point is that people are living in poverty, right, in our country that is the greatest country on earth. So I think the film really, I think that's what it was about, because, you know, the regular families like Lupita's family and the white family, I think that they're supposed to represent families who are doing great, who are doing well, the average American family, right? The black all-American family and the white all-American family, I feel like that's what they represent. The shadow families and the shadow people, I think they represent poor people. I think they represent impoverished people in America, and the families that are just like the rich families, you know what I'm saying? They are just as loving and just as deserving of basic necessities, but they don't have them. And often it's very easy to, I think, just go on with your life and do whatever you want to do, ignoring things that do not concern you. So people that are living in poverty, people that don't have adequate access to healthcare, people that are, you know, being killed by the police for not doing anything. I digress. I saw a tweet on Twitter last week that said something like Flint, Michigan is like a glimpse of what the future could be like, you know, if this trend continues of basically classism and just ignoring a group of people who don't have access to the adequate resources that they need. I thought of that scenario when I was watching this movie, because if you remember the scene at the dinner table, or not the dinner table, the living room, when the family finally breaks in the house, the shadow family breaks in the house, girl, and they come in there with them weapons, girl. The little boy got that goddamn ski mask on his face. The dad then got dragged out the house by his goddamn soleus, the soleus of his foot, his ankle, girl, his fibius minorius. And, you know, the little girl then took off running in the woods, goddamn. In that scene, the shadow mom said something like, "We are American," or "This is America," or "We are Americans," or something of that nature. And that's how I knew this is supposed to symbolize some kind of situation within America right now. That was like the dead giveaway. Now, I think that Jordan Peele left out some major clues, okay? At the end of the movie, if you recall, they show you how, you know, the shadow mother was actually the mother that's been raising the children in the family all along, all these years, because they were switched at a very young age when the girl got lost in the goddamn carnival. Now, here's the thing with that. Sis, I just feel like there could have been a little bit more foreshadowing to show that. Yes, they did keep flashing back to the scene where the young Lupita was in the car with her parents and they were like, "I just want my daughter back." I feel like that was supposed to give that away. But at the same time, girl, we could have had a little bit more foreshadowing, because some of the girls, I just wasn't catching those context clues. Like, I just wasn't getting that. And also, at the very end of the movie, little boy was looking at the mom because he could tell this is not my mom. But at the same time, that's the only mom he's ever known. That's the same mom that's raised him his entire life. So how could he be looking at her like, this is not my mom? Like, even if that's not your mom, that's the only mom you've ever known. So why now would you be looking at her like, this is not my mom? You know what I'm saying? The girls were switched at the age of like 8, if that. So it's like, how? I was confused. I'm just confused about, so like, does everything in the shadows mimic real life? Like, everything down to a T? I would assume so. I also need to know, like, girl, why was the girls doing experiments anyway? Like, why was the girls copying people and making twins and underground and eating rabbits? Like, why were the girls even doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what were the girl, like, who, why? I think maybe I just needed to read the book first. The This Is Us book first. Is there a book? Maybe I'm concerned about the wrong things. Maybe I just am concerned about the wrong things. I'm almost certain that the film has several different meanings, but I think the biggest one is symbolizing those that are privileged within our country and those that are not privileged within our country. Case A. The white family is obviously like super privileged, right? Because in the film, like, they're staying at that super nice home, and the two girls, like, you could tell they're like spoiled brats. And the black family is just a black family that is well off, right? They're probably, the parents went to school, the dad's wearing a Howard sweatshirt, you can tell he's a college graduate, HBCU graduate. You know, the Lupita, when they show her as a child, you see that she has a good family structure. She has a mother and a father. She's raised with 2 parents. Like, this is a black family that happens to be doing very well, that happens to be a result of good decisions, right? But this white family is living their best life as a result of their privilege, right? That they have inherently received because of the color of their skin, right? And so when the white shadow family breaks into the white family's home, honey, they just slaughter them, girl. They didn't even get to put up a fight because they're so privileged. They're literally thinking, oh, nothing's gonna happen to me. The mom asked the dad so many times, she was like, I don't know what his name was, but she said, Bill, will you please go check out outside? I hear something. Will you check out outside? Now, a black family, something's outside. Something's outside, girl. Let's go see what it is. You know, I'm not even gonna cap. We're not even gonna do all that. We're not gonna go see what it is, but we're definitely going to do some investigations, okay? We're definitely gonna call the police. We're gonna do what we have to do. He was like, I wanna sit up in here and drink this cognac, drink this scotch. Nobody's gonna come up in here. We're in this big old mansion, and that's why they came up in there with them things, with them goddamn cutting shears, okay? Those bang scissors. And sliced everybody up like mahi-mahi sushi, girl. Like tuna salad. Just chopped everybody to pieces. But the black family, who has some privilege but is still aware of what it's like to come from a certain background, they were on guard. You know, they were on guard. They were ready to go, ready for whatever. And at the end of the day, I don't even think it comes down to black and white. I think it just is supposed to symbolize privileged, non-privileged, high class, middle class. What are the distinctions between the two? What are people experiencing? People who are living below the poverty line and people who don't have adequate resources to food, water, things like that, healthcare, in other countries have revolted and gone crazy, girl, and stormed the streets, and they get tear gas and smoke bombs and all kind of stuff thrown at them. Yes, killing people with scissors is a bit severe, right? But if you just look at the real world and look at things that are happening, this movie is not too far off, right? So I think that that's definitely like, wake up call. Okay, let's be humanitarians. Let's look at what we can do for people who don't have what they need, right? To deter things from getting out of hand, right? Because there's enough for everyone. We just have to figure out a way to distribute things, and we have to be less selfish, I think. The movie, I would not necessarily classify the movie as a horror movie, even though my black ass was scared, girl. I was jumping up. I would say it's more of a thriller. It's more of a thriller, because I was thrilled. Your girl was really thrilled. With that being said, I'm gonna give the movie like a good 8. I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. Just because I needed some foreshadowing, okay? I needed just some context clues, alright? But I'm gonna go see it again. And I wanna know what you all thought of the movie. Yeah, what would you give it out of 10? What did you think the plot was about? Would you agree with me? Did you think it was about something different? Do y'all know why little boy was looking at the mom like that? Even if he didn't know that was, even if he knew that was his mom, like, just explain. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ToneClassic. Make sure you check out my fashion and lifestyle blog, www.toneclassic.org. And that's it. I'll see you next video.